First question over on the right side, fourth row.
Coach, how are you?
How you doing?
You have an opportunity to be part of a very special fraternity of coaches here in Boston that have won titles. Talking about legends like Red Auerbach and Bill Russell and Tommy Heinz and Casey Jones. What would it mean for you personally? I know you always talk about, it's all about the players. But you're a young coach. What would it mean for you personally, Coach, to be a part of that?
That'll never happen if you don't run back on defense, rebound, execute, and get to your spacing. It's the most important thing.
Tim, here on your left, standing.
You'd said the other day that Kristaps was making progress. He obviously went through that workout before the game. Over the last couple of days, has he continued to make progress? Is there hope he might be able to do a little bit more today?
I haven't talked to him yet. We're going to talk about that before we start at like 2. And so I'm not sure kind of where he's at, but he's trying. He's doing everything he can to try to put himself in position to be out there. I know that for sure.
Simone here.
Simone Sandri, Gazzetta dello Sport. You talked in the past about your different side of your upbringing. Can you talk about your Italian side and how that shaped the person and the coach that you became?
Yeah, I mean, you're just made by all the experiences and the things that you have. So regardless of what I am, what I'm made from, first and foremost, my identity in Christ is the most important thing before any of all that. And then after that, it's about winning for the Boston Celtics and the process of winning, getting back on defense, playing hard, transition, rebounding, spacing, execution. Those things are the most important.
John, on the left, fifth row.
Coach, how much of what you guys do defensively, especially in regards to help, is strictly game plan based, and how much is it instincts and sort of trusting your defenders and them trusting maybe who's behind them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Multiple layers to that. Obviously, there's game plan execution, but that can change once the game begins. One side of the ball is heavily dictated by the other. And so I think one of the things that we've freed our minds to this year is just making reads and having understanding, having spatial awareness about who's where, what's the spacing, what's the attack, and just being able to make plays on both ends of the floor there. So there's definitely, obviously a game plan component. You have to have a plan going into it, but at the end of the day, it's the individual pride, and then it's the instincts from the guys when they're out there.
Gary in the middle.
Watch from Boston Globe. What did you see from Game 4? It was such just a bizarre performance. The lack of not getting the 50-50 balls, them dominating the boards. It just seemed like you guys were a couple of steps slow, and it seemed like it was mental also. What did you take from that, and how can you kind of use that as motivation or a way to make adjustments in Game 5?
Yeah. I mean, every game, regardless of how it goes, there's always stuff that you can learn from, and there's always stuff that you just kind of like you don't learn from. So regardless, I think the most important thing is our process towards getting better has been the same whether we've won or lost, whether we've won big or lost big. We've always tried to find the 10 or 12 possessions we can get better at and find the things that we did pretty well and how can we do those more. So just kept a consistent process towards our post-game retrieval and then how we grow at that heading into the next game.
Back left.
Guilherme Giovannone from ESPN Brazil. I saw Dallas increase the speed of their game in Game 4. Do you think control the rhythm of the game is one of the keys of the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's when they're at their best, the team that dictates the pace dictates kind of the momentum and the opportunities. And so, yeah, I think that's definitely part of it is how can we dictate the pace of the game? How can we dictate the momentum of the game? And you can do that in different ways. Transition is obviously one of those, but there's other ways that you can do that as well.
Bobby on the left side towards the back.
Bobby Manning, CLNS Media. Joe, I know you said coming into the series, a lot of the adjustments here will be dictated by like the points per possession, points per play, things like that. Was there any area in particular that their offense is going to kind of force you to adjust going forward based on what happened last game?
I mean, it just depends. I think they played a well-balanced offensive game, from everybody. And, the game is connected. And so if you're not doing one thing well, going to something different may not always stop that. So just have to be open-minded. Every game takes on a life of its own, so we have the things that we can control, and then we have the things that we have to be ready to adjust to, kind of depending upon how, the game grows over the course of time.
Front right, Shane.
Hey, Joe, Shane Young with Forbes. Derek always seems very, even-keeled for you guys. Just kind of curious what you think his stability, his calmness has given you guys this playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, just a guy defined by the ability to make plays on both ends. So, like you said, Mistakes don't weigh him down. It doesn't matter if he misses a shot or makes a mistake on a defensive end. Just has the ability to make plays, and he can do them on both ends of the floor. So just that balance of impacting the game in different ways is crucial for us.
Anyone with a final question? Last one here on the left side.
Yeah, hi, Joe. Coach Joe, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Joe, I'm sorry if this was already asked, but was just to go back for a moment, was offensive execution a problem in the previous game? I know how you talk about the game's interconnected.
Yeah.
And at this point in the series, is it a battle of wills as much as anything?
Yeah, definitely. I think, some of our defensive struggles came from our offensive struggles, no question, and vice versa. And so there's definitely some things we need to do better on the offensive end. What was the second question you had? It's a little bit of both. I think obviously that is, I would say 1A is that the willpower, the mindset, the approach that you bring into it. And I think there are some tactical things that, you have to do depending upon how the game is going for sure. Yeah.
On the room, please raise your hand. We have the microphones. First question over here on the third row on the left.
How you doing, Jaylen? Nick Galley, Field Level Media. You guys have been really great at bouncing back from tough losses all season. Never lost 3 games in a row this year. What's kind of been different about this year's team in terms of that ability to bounce back and be resilient?
We got a great group, a resilient group, a tough group, and we don't like to lose. So we do our best to prepare each and every night for each and every game, and we're looking forward to the next game on the schedule.
John here.
Jaylen, Joe talked about the Mavericks being able to dictate things when they're playing their best. You guys were dictating things for the majority of the first 3 games. How do you get back to that? And how do you get that mid-game when they have the momentum? It's clear that they've come out. How do you try to take that back mid-game?
Just by being disciplined, controlling the pace. I feel like there was a lot of stoppages in game 4. They were blowing the whistle a lot, but we want to get up and create more of a pace to the game, and I think that helps dictate.
Jaylen, on your right, fifth row.
Jaylen, Fernando Tirado from ESPN Deportes. How much did the loss in Game 4 impact your confidence level, and what did you guys talk about in order to forget that game?
I think we're ready for Game 5. I think that's the best answer that I got. I think that we're ready, we're at home, and we're looking forward to it.
Again, on your right.
Jaylen, I want to ask you about just your relationship with the city of Boston. I know you're very active in the community and have been for several years. I was just wondering, since you got drafted, how has your relationship with the city grown? And what's it like to represent the city wearing the Celtics colors?
It's definitely a blessing to be here, to represent the Celtics, my family, organization, the community, a greater community. It's an honor that I don't take lightly. So just to come out every night, to play for something, for what I represent, I think that matters. And my relationship with Boston has grown. I've been here for almost 9 years now, since I was 18, 19 years old. And, I've grown up. I've become a man here. So Boston is special, and I'm looking forward to Game 5.
Jeff, over here on the left, fourth row.
Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. Jaylen, so much of this series has been a referendum on past experiences and how you, in the Celtics, apply it to the present. I was wondering, just in real time, what experience you gained from Game 4 that you can relay looking ahead to Game 5 tomorrow night?
Just that you can't take it for granted. And it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to fight and just stay in the moment. And that's what matters the most. We just come out and be a team, win as a team, lose as a team, and just come out and be the best versions of ourselves. And that's the only experience that you could really speak from in the playoffs, that, at this level, you have some very talented basketball players who are going to be on the floor, and you got to bring it every single night. And if you don't, you can see what happens.
Any other questions? Last one, Gary in the middle.
Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Jaylen, as a leader, what do you say to the guys over the last day or so and leading up to Game 5? You're intense. You seem ready. How do you get the rest of the guys all on the same page for this special opportunity?
This is what we all work for. We are at the precipice of completing what we set out to do at the beginning of the season. So I think it's not difficult to get everybody in that locker room on the same page right now. It just needs to remind everybody that, it's just one possession at a time. We do it together, and we fight like our lives depends on it, and I think we'll be all right.
Thank you, Jaylen. Take first question in the back left for Jayson.
Jayson, Jaylen Brown was talking about his relationship with the city of Boston. And we arrived yesterday, and everywhere you look, you see a Celtics jersey or something, people wearing Celtics-related stuff. And is that somehow rise the pressure above you guys, the expectations that the city puts on you?
I don't look at it as pressure. I do notice, especially this time of the season, playoff time, and obviously being in the finals for the second time. When you drive around and go to the gas station, or I went to go get some ice cream yesterday, it's Celtics gear everywhere, and everybody's super excited about this team and what we've accomplished and what we have the chance to accomplish. And you really just feel the love and support from everybody in the city of Boston, and how bad they want us to win, how much they've been cheering for us. So I don't look at it as pressure, just unconditional support, and that we have an amazing fan base here.
David, fourth row on your right.
Hey, Jayson, David Aldridge, The Athletic. Sort of along those lines, but there's a unique expectation here in Boston that maybe it's in LA, but those are the only two places where it is. And I just wonder, as a young player, how did you learn to kind of navigate that space and go, okay, this is what I signed up for, and I have to live in this space, throughout my career here?
It did take some time. For one, normally when you're a top 5 draft pick, you go to a lottery team that is rebuilding. I was in a unique situation from the rest of the guys in my draft class, that the Celtics were the number 1 seed in the East before. We were competing for a championship ever since I've gotten here. And it brings me back to my earlier years. I would talk to guys in my draft class, and they were losing 15 games in a row. And me, I'm fighting for the 1 seed, and I'm on a veteran team that's trying to win. You learn early on that when you come into the NBA, you just think every organization and every franchise is the same, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. And I've been fortunate to be a part of something that is special, that has had some of the greatest players ever played wear this uniform. And you realize early on that it's an honor, and it raises your level of commitment, I felt like, to this city and to this franchise.
Vince, next question in the middle.
Jason, Vince Gore, Yahoo Sports. Kind of along those same lines, how long does it take for a 19-year-old, like we joked that you were 19 for like 5 years, but how long, when you're drafted at 19, to understand the pressure that comes with 17 banners and the retired jerseys and everything else? Because at that age, I can only assume you only know the recent history. You don't know 1960s Celtics and what that means. So how long does it take you to understand the totality of it all?
I would say just throughout that season. I had no idea who Cedric Maxwell was. I thought he was just like a radio guy. And I didn't know that he played on the team and he won Finals MVP. So there were just different instances throughout the season, my rookie year, where I would learn about different people that played an intricate part in this organization, the history throughout the Celtics, and what the Celtics mean to the game of basketball. And you just grow a level of appreciation through your time here.
Jared, standing in the back, left.
Jared Weiss, The Athletic. Since it's Father's Day, looking at the fact that right when you got to the league, you also were raising a son at the same time. So your career and being a father has gone on the same timeline, essentially. So how has that helped you understand responsibility, all the other things that come with leading a franchise over the course of that time?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And when I found out that I was going to be a dad, I was still in college. I had like a week or two left, and I wasn't ecstatic. I was a little selfish at that point because I knew that I was about to go chase my dream and be in the NBA, and I felt like that was going to like affect what people thought of me, affect where I went in the draft. So I'll be the first to say I wasn't like super thrilled to find out I was going to be a dad, and quickly realized that it was like the best thing that ever could have happened to me. There's nothing better than being a dad. And I think, especially for me in my first year in the NBA at 19, it taught me a sense of responsibility. Because it's tough being 19 years old and coming into fame and this newfound fortune. Nobody can, I guess, help you or prepare you for what it's like to be 19 and have millions of dollars. And I think, not that I think, I know that having Deuce at that age grounded me, because I always, whatever decision I wanted to make, I had to make sure that he was taken care of. I couldn't just up and go or do everything that some of my peers were doing because I had to go home. I had to put him to bed, or for Father's Day weekend I was going out of town, or I had to skip out on this trip with my friends because it was my weekend with him. And not that it's like a sacrifice. I willingly would choose those things. But it has taught me a sense of responsibility, as well as just making the right decisions, knowing that there's a 6-year-old mini-me essentially watching everything that I do, and knowing that I have to be the best version of myself. I have to make the right decisions because he's always watching.
Front right.
Hi, Alena from NBA Brazil. Joe Mazzulla has an unique style of coaching, and Sam Hauser even said that sometimes he puts videos for you guys of killing killer whales and hyenas, stuff like that. Could you elaborate on that? And also, did he put anything after Game 4 loss?
Yeah, I think after Game 4, he just reminded us that to have fun, right? That that we wanted to go for the kill, essentially, and we wanted to win so bad that maybe we got away from what makes us special and what makes us the Boston Celtics. So today just reminding each guy why he's important to this team, why we all need each other, and what every person brings to the table. I think that was really important for us to go over today.
John, last question here.
Jayson, along those lines, when you go up 3-0, everything's talked about inevitability. You're crowned without being crowned yet. Did any of that seep into the Game 4 performance, where you just said you wanted to win so bad because this is the moment? Did that seep into it? Did that change how you guys saw the game and the decisions you guys were making on the floor?
Not that like we came out and expected that we were just going to roll over them and win. I firmly believe we had the right intentions. We wanted to win. We wanted to play the right way. That moment, like we wanted that moment. But I think we maybe put like too much pressure or on ourselves of that moment to be perfect or think it was going to go how we wanted it to go. And you know, Joe did a great job today of like reminding us that it's okay to smile during war. It's okay to have fun during high pressure moments. That's what makes our team unique and special. And you know, we would love to win tomorrow more than anything. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. We have more opportunities. So just like setting that table of like, you know, don't surrender to that idea that we have to win tomorrow. We would love to, absolutely. But Game 5 is the biggest game of the season because it's the next game on the schedule. So going with that mindset and just have fun. And that's really what we talked about today, to get back to having fun and being the team and how special we are in the team that got us here.
Thank you, Jason.